everyone, Susie here from Minnesota, and I garden in a Zone 4, and it is time for an late August garden tour. Having some struggles with some plants, others are still doing good. We've just been so dry. The heat is here again. This is just a hardy geranium I started from seed. Kind of hard to, like a light pink. The hydrangeas are yellowing a bit. A little stressed. Still looks good. So the white is almost done on all of this. But now I'm left with this green, kind of a light green, very pretty. I like these a lot. I don't know, I just love driving up here and seeing these. They just brighten this area up. I have used Wandering Jew as a ground cover. That's doing pretty good, better than what the Lamium is doing good. Still throwing off blooms, which I really like. I lost, I'm going to say, the top part of this Lamium over here. So maybe the roots are still good. And it might bounce back if we get some rain. They are talking some rain, hopefully tomorrow. We need it. We're very, very dry. This Palace Purple Heuchera that I started from seed, though, you would never know it because it looks amazing. And look, it's even throwing off a flower spike. The first year, I'm like, I did that. I can't believe it. So neat. I will be ordering more seeds of these. This is just Jacob's Ladder here with the ferny foliage. I really like it. It's yellowing in some spots, but all in all, still looks pretty decent along with this foxglove here. The lady's mantle, you wouldn't know that it was even stressed or dry. And the melting fire coral bells has to be just a showstopper to me. I'm like, I wish I had more of these that germinated so I could have done a mass planting in here. It's just wow. Definitely different. The Sun King Aurelias still look really good. Very happy. And then I have a black lace elderberry back here. Still holding on, so. It is late August, so the reality is of gardening is things aren't going to look the best as it does at the start. So, but I still think most of this looks really good. These are blooming. I really like that. But this is, I came out the other day and this was browning up. My arborvitae. I just planted this last fall. I was a bit bummed to see that. The bottom I could have been in, but the top, I'm just been watering that. So yeah, that's, I think it'll be okay. I mean, it's an arborvitae. And yes, I do worry because these plants are, I mean, I've had a lot of these plants for a long time, and I definitely want to see them pull through and see next year. Gardening in Zone 4, sure, the summer is easy as far as weather, but all of this has to get through a Zone 4 winter. That's the hardest part about gardening in Zone 4. And if I go into winter with no moisture in the ground, my trees are all dropping leaves, and mine are usually the last ones to drop leaves. That's how stressed things are. The paprika coral bells, look, it's flushing out. Not massive, but it's flushing out. Pretty good there. So yeah, I do worry. Still trying to be positive because what's not to love about gardening? But there was that one day when we got over 100. I think that just did a number on all these. It is normal for hostas to start going yellow a little bit. I don't think this soon. Solomon's seal too. You would never know that we were in a drought. So I can only water every other day. So I'm showing you the good and the bad, and I'm not going to say the ugly, just can't help that we didn't get the rain. Look at the snow in the mountain. It's just pretty much laid flat in areas. I do have to get in here. You can see now my tree shoots coming up. That's how high it was standing. And then some of my plants that I had in this garden that this just took over. I had Hosta there, Sun King Aurelia. This is a Chelone, much smaller than in a different area that I have it planted. And this one has not spread a lot, but I think that's due to the big tree, lack of moisture. But it does have some blooms. If we get a little rain, everything should perk back up. More tree roots. Tree root shoots, I should say. Yeah, look at the lawn is just like confetti. Oh, I love curly fries hosta. I will do a hosta tour, hopefully soon, when they still look pretty decent. I don't know all the varieties, so I just have to do a little look back at some of my videos. I just love how the sun comes through here. Must be about 7:30 in the morning. Yeah, that's now where the sun has trekked. So this definitely gets a little bit more sun come August, September. Always gets more sun in spring and fall, late summer and fall. These are still holding on. They're brown, but they keep pushing out more fronds, which looks so nice. The ostrich ferns. And in this sun, you won't even know because everything just glows. I did make some changes. So I had a goat's beard, and that was right here, back a little bit, and then one right here. I moved one here. So I have one plant and moved the two to another area because this will just, it should fill in this spot pretty nicely. Some in substance. This Bernera looks really good down here. Unfortunately, these not so good. But this is how big the goat's beard should get over there. But then again, this is a wetter area. For some reason, it's like from the corner of the house to here, this stays wetter. Super dry over here. So it may not get as big. But if it gets half that size, it'll still be glorious. And I always leave the seed heads on my goat's beard. I just think they add such beautiful structure to the garden. This is a very mature summon substance. This coleus just, and then that's why I think it is a wetter spot, because I don't ever water this. I think it looks really good there, just to break up all that green. over here I added a shrub, and I do struggle with this because the rabbits like to chew this, but this little shrub here is a rhododendron white lights azalea. So we will see. I think I might put a cage around it to protect it from them, because what they do is in the spring they chew everything off, which gets rid of the blooms because they've already put their buds on for next year. So if they come by next year in spring and chew it down, I lose all my flowers. So fingers crossed that they leave this alone. I think it'll look good in this area, add some height so it's got room to grow in here. I'm going to be moving this Summon Substance probably over a little bit. I just think this will be a nice shrub. Probably 4 feet tall, possibly in a perfect world, but it'll just add a little height to this area over here. The other night I was getting dive bombed by cicadas. And then I came out the next morning with my little dog, Baron, and there must have been 6 or 7 in the grass. They make a lot of noise when you get close. And he just looked at them. He doesn't have an issue with them. He has put one in his mouth before, and then it buzzes in his mouth. It's a little disturbing on my part, but now if it was a fly, that would bother him. He's got issues with flies, go figure. Still looks really good though. Oh, let's check on these ferns. Yeah, I've just been kind of picking and choosing what to water, but this is a hard area to reach, so I do forget about this, so I think I'm going to have to come back here. Some hostas look really good, and then other ones, oh, something, what are you? Oh, he flew onto me and then I squished him. Oh no, he might be okay, maybe. Here, go, I'm sorry. But yeah, like these here, struggling a little bit more, but that one you would never know. The big ones around the trees, for the most part, they look really good. I love that sun just poking through. And I do also leave the stilby heads on too to add a little bit of structure, and I like it. I'm trying to figure out why my town did spray for mosquitoes when we haven't had an issue. Don't you think that's a little... I know it's preventive, and I know we do have some rain predicted, but this lamustrum, it just keeps going. And I like the big drift of it, so I'm okay. I'm trying to keep it under control so it doesn't go all the way into here. That's going to be an issue if it does. But I do like, I mean, it just did it on its own. I didn't even have to do that, which I do love. The fact that it's just kind of taken over the lily of the valley too, it kind of tells you how aggressive it is. 'Cause I love lily of the valley also. I mean, this hosta here is, besides that little yellow leaf, looks almost perfect. Look at that. This Hakana coalgrass is doing really good. The other ones are struggling, but hey, look, that one's, I think it's Aureola. I think I've been saying all gold, but I think this one's Aureola. That is just like a red or blood vein sorrel. I keep forgetting the name. A viewer had told me, and I like it. I love the red veining in there. I love how that red purplish picks up on the astilbe here, which has, I had to water it. It was shriveled, so there are some brown crusty bits in there. I should say crispy. Longwood. Lady's mantle still looks really good. This is where I have some Mahogany Splendor Hibiscus, and I cut it here to hopefully it branches out. I was going for a Japanese maple look, which I think it does look like with the leaf foliage, but it hasn't gotten really big. I think if we would have had the rainfall, I think some things would have just been whoa. And here's another astilbe that's been, I've been watering, but Pulmonaria, I need to get more of this. This is an easy plant and gorgeous. So what's not to love about that? The Persicarias though, they are strong. They pull through anything. Painter's palette, just gotta love that. I mean, every leaf is almost different. I can understand why it's called a painter's palette for that reason. And this is also Persicaria polymorpha. I leave the heads. I know they're browning, but it offers something. Oh, got an itch. Let's see here. Are you blooming yet? My turtlehead Kiloni. So I've had, this is one clump, was one clump, and it has spread this whole area to where it took over a hosta down here. And this one has spread a bit more in the back. And I've had this, oh, I would say it's got to be more than 10 years. But this gets a part sun situation, and for most of the time, it's in boggy soil. Not the last 2 years, but it's a doer for me. But you saw the one that was by my tree. That one, not so much. That was definitely probably half the size, and like height-wise and more than width. I'm trying to get in here because I think I see a bloom happening. Where are you? Just starting. I mean, on this, it's herbaceous, so this plant dies to the ground when a freeze comes, or, I mean, close. Okay, I gotta back out here quick. So it's just starting to put on its show, which is good, because it'll definitely be offering me some color here when other things are petering out. Oh, man. Rainbow's End is putting out some flower spikes. This is a late one, very late. Look at this one too. Just there's a little browning in there, but otherwise you would never know. Isn't that gorgeous? So then over here is where I planted the other two goat spirit. I have one here and then one over here. So it has this whole area to fill in. It It will get big, but the one thing about the blooms, I feel that you can still see through them. They're not going to block the view. So I'll see how I like it. Hardy geranium is just magnificent. It is starting to turn color, but look at this. This is a Japanese, or this is an anemone. Fall in love sweetly. Just saw this the other day when I was watering. But look, it is just loaded in blossoms. Just gorgeous. So I haven't watered this at all the whole season. I think once I did because it was wilting. But I think what's happening is when I water this container, it's draining through and it's getting moisture that way. Oh, it's gorgeous. I'm getting a late bloomer. You gotta love those anemones. I know they can be invasive, but I keep saying that I'm a zone 4. The winters are tough. Anyone else who gardens in a zone 4, you know what I'm talking about. It's even hard for us to try and survive a zone 4 winter. Oh, this morning glory vine is just doing what I wanted it to do. I just love how the sun is poking through. This video might get a little bit long, but I'm appreciating my garden in the late season. There may not be a lot of color happening right now. A lot of color that's going to be happening with this Autumn Joy sedum. They're just massive. Oh, I like touching it though. Really like touching that. Bee balm is about done. The black-eyed Susan Rudbeckia popping through. I do have a Mahogany Splendor Hibiscus back here that I haven't gotten to. So it has gotten a bit taller. Kind of liking it. With that perennial sunflower. I think that got a bit, oops. Like, where am I going? I'm not even paying attention to the camera. Look. I think this is called Fancy Feathered Friends. I had a viewer who said she got some of this and she split it and made lots of plants. So I'm hoping mine does as good as hers. Because look at that. I mean, that's a tight clump in there. I mean, there's things that are looking really good. At least the growth, like the campanula, looks really good, the growth. And this is another hardy geranium. I got that at a plant sale. My lobelia here is kind of given up. But I've never had great luck with lobelia. So again, with it being dry, normally there's bees in here, so I have to be careful. This is Britt Marie Crawford Ligularia. I grow it for the foliage. But the flowers didn't get super tall. They're hidden beneath the foliage. So I'm thinking that's just a dry issue. And these leaves have never wilted once, which is amazing, because usually Ligularia is the first one to throw a fit when it's dry. So I'm okay with that. I'm not a huge fan of the flower heads, but the one thing is when they dry up, they're really neat. So I'm hoping I can show you that. This is more sedum down here, which is oh, there was a mosquito again. It's just starting to bloom. It's going to be a very vibrant fuchsia purpley color. I had divided all of this last year in late season, so it has not split. It stayed a little bit smaller, but I'm really liking it. Look, look at that bee. What he's doing to my flowers. He's a big boy. I'm like, I think he's having fun doing this too. But yeah, so they look really good. It didn't split here. That was my tulip foliage was covering that and made that happen. But all my hard work has been covered up by the lamb's ear. I need to figure something out. It is beautiful. It's just, it's going to take over the whole garden if I let it. So I have to be ruthless with this. I just don't. It's just so gorgeous. I have a Nicotia and a lime green that's self-seeded. And I love it. Absolutely. Yes, it's tall there, but I don't know. It's just adding some color. Not everything has to be perfect with height. And I love this. I haven't watered that at all. So the Italian Ice Oh So Easy Rose is blooming again. Wow. I haven't done anything with these roses either. I haven't fertilized them. I haven't watered them. Just kind of trying to step in here. But look, it's going to have more blooms here, here. What's not to love about that one? And all these are in a part sun situation right now. And it's loaded back there too. I have one back here that's being eaten up, and I think I need to get in there and move it. Just don't know where. I could probably put it here and just let them grow together, because it doesn't get really big. I don't think it's a really big shrub, rose shrub. White Wands Veronica, I never trimmed that up. I'm leaving it and just letting the bees enjoy it. I love how that's swaying right now. There's a little breeze coming from somewhere. But yeah, look, and then the double red Oh So Easy Rose. I haven't deadheaded it, watered it, fertilized it, part sun. They are gorgeous. And that one in the middle I moved last year, late season. I didn't think it was going to come back. When I dug it up, I butchered the roots. I just, look at that. It's not as big as the others, but it's just gorgeous. The alliums are not blooming yet. They're all standing up right now. The echinacea is still giving some color here. The tall garden phlox is going over some blooms left, along with some foxgloves back there. I'm just leaving it go. I want it to self-seed. I don't have a lot of mulch in this garden. I have some salvias that are blooming down here. The rabbits do like the salvias. Just say the perennial salvias. And then there's one right here. And I know I keep saying it. Oh, look, I got a foxglove that's putting on a little show here. I did trim these up. the Verona keeps blooming, I'll go over there. I'm just kind of liking that whole color combination happening again with the purple, the white, and that peach. Rabbits like Scabiosa too, but I'm still getting blooms on it. They're helping me deadhead. Oh, I have a weed in there also, a thistle. This columbine is still blooming. Can you believe it? So a lot of these seed heads had dried up, but the other day I just took them and I gave them a shake. So I need to save some of those seeds too for myself. I better get a move on because my battery life is dwindling because it's hot out here. The sweet pea here, the one that's putting on the show here, it was late to the party, but it's Beaujolais. And it has put up with the heat, and can you see that? It's a little dark. I've climbed all the way up there, along with my William Baffin Rose that's blooming. That's put on a lot of height. But yeah, look. And my Dahlia. And that's just gorgeous. And then I had the sweet pea. Isn't that beautiful? I didn't plan that. And then another Veronica that I started from seed is this white one that just started, which is really cool. Different colors. There should be a pink in there, so maybe I'll get some. This is just an annual that I bought from a garden center, Ami Magus Green Mist, and you gotta love those flat. I love it. Look at that. That looks the way it did in June. I need to deadhead some of that. That looks a little raggy. David Tall Garden Phlox. Another self-seeded Nicotiana, and I'm leaving it because there's things that's like this Dahlia is not doing anything down here, and nature just helps out and does it better than me. I need to get in here and trim these up, but yeah, the Beaujolais just is the aggressive one. This is just a shrub rose that I keep trimming up, and it keeps on putting out blooms, and it never lets me down. See what I mean by nature? I didn't plant any of this. This is what nature does and helps me out and gives me color where I need it. And when other things are going over, it's funny how I have a dark pink, light pink Cleome, white. These all self-seeded from the same plant last year. And then I have some back here that I don't have the heart to pull, which is in the way of me getting to my tomatoes. So I go up the long way. I haven't watered them either. My hose tramples on it a lot. Just wanted to show you this real quick. Oh, these Dahlias. I didn't think they were supposed to be this color. I have to look at the package. Isn't that gorgeous? And this one has more white in it. They just don't have really long stems. Not happy with that. So these aren't going to be good as cut flowers. I have a foxglove down here that just went kaput. And all the other ones are perfectly fine. I just think that's weird. I will be pulling that one out for sure. Could be a disease. I don't know much about foxglove. First year for growing it. So far loving it. We'll see what happens next year. A viewer said she had a bad reaction to it, so I am careful handling it, not touching my face, because that would not be fun. Look, I went back here. Yes, it's messy, but more as Nicotiana, Cleome, white. And it just keeps going. And it's all self-seeded in my Zone 4 garden. Also a Cosmos self-seeded. It got tall, and the reason being is because it's right next to my sweet pea, which I've been fertilizing heavily. Sweet peas, you can't over-fertilize, but Cosmos does not like being fertilized. It gets leggy. My rhubarb has just put on. Oh, I love it. I love that this is a vigorous grower, because the one in my back raised garden bed took forever, and I spent almost $20 on that one. I don't know the variety. That rhubarb over there I got from a plant sale. There's something to be said about plant sales. And then my bloomering lilac is putting on a show again. Not as great as earlier in the season, but definitely more this year than previous years. And got black-eyed Susan vine that's saying hello to it. A little limelight is beautiful. I just can't see these very much because of my containers. Next year I'm going to do smaller plants in them, but look at that. Very happy. I really thought that I would lose that one. This one was the first one to bloom. All these are Paniculata Hydrangeas. They just work the best for me. But it's going over now, which I love. It will turn this pink mauve color. I have some newer ones at the top. I'm in love with the Paniculata Hydrangeas. They do the best for me. I have Pinky Winky back here, which is also being hidden. The bees love these hydrangeas. Maybe I'll go to the back real quick. I'm hoping I got a little bit left on my camera life. This is just beautiful. So I also have some new additions. I heard something behind me. It was just a leaf blowing. So I extended this bed from here to over here. These are all just hydrangea cuttings of mine. This is the sod that I removed, and the reason why I removed it, I need to remove some of the soil too, is because I'm going to be putting mulch here at some point, and I don't want it, you know, washing away anywhere. And this is, where's my tag? In front. Well, we'll go here first. So I had to. This is Limelight Prime. Look at that. I had to. I just, like I said, the Paniculata Hydrangeas, Panicle. Oh, and this is just perfect. It looked fake. So yeah, that's. It's how you, it's when you buy plants and not know where you're going to put them. And then you're like, okay, now I got to make another garden bed. And then this one is a Hearty Hibiscus. Kind of ran into my wheelbarrow there. On this plant, even if it only performs this year for me, it was $16.99. I mean, you can't go wrong with a plant this size with buds like this. I mean, look. I just, oh, I hope they bloom and not all fall off. I don't know. And It's just vintage wine. And I saw this one in bloom at my garden center. They've been growing it, and it's close to 4 feet wide and tall and just, okay, stunning. And the thing is, I bought the plant before I even saw that, so they have a little area planted up. I'm like, oh, I hope mine looks like that. I have a hard time with Hearty Hibiscus, but because they're growing it in Minnesota, I feel a little bit better. So I like kind of shopping at my local garden centers too, because if they are growing the plants that I like, it should work for me, unless if I kill it. And then this one here, don't let the size fool you. And I'm just treating this kind of like its own little specimen. I'm not going to do any landscaping around it. This is just Limelight Hydrangea. So I have Limelight Prime, Little Limelight, and now just Limelight. I hope this gets huge, because what I'm hoping for is that it fills up this whole area about 8-10 feet, and it just kind of adds a little privacy, because it's very open over here to the street. I need to compost that. Oh, look, he's sleepy. I wish I knew which variety this is. I don't know if this is the vanilla strawberry. I want to say I got the first edition's strawberry sundae, but I don't know which one for sure this is, but this is huge. I was going to go to the back, but some of my neighbors were out. So I do try and respect their privacy. And I just love walking up this way. Especially with those sweet peas blooming up there too. They are doing what I wanted them to do. So hopefully you enjoyed this slow tour of my late August garden. And if you liked my video, if you could hit the like button and subscribe, I would greatly appreciate it. That helps me out immensely. It just gives me a reason to keep making more videos, and I love showing my garden. The good and the bad. But like I said, there's a lot of good. Look at this view right now. I can't wait to sit back here now and enjoy a cup of coffee and watch the bees. And it's early morning, so the butterflies are not out, but the butterflies have been amazing too. And my grasses aren't getting any seed heads yet, plumes. They should, and I'm hoping they do, because then they'll be, I think they look majestic when they get those seed heads. They like the drier season. They stay a little more upright. They don't flop. Sometimes they do flop on me. There's still time in the season yet, especially if we get some heavy rains. So hopefully you enjoyed this video, and bye for now.